Hello all. So in this PPT, I will be talking about P.V. Shelley's life and works and how he is known as a romantic poet. So let's move on to the next important points about his life. Shelley was born in 1792 in England and is regarded as a great romantic poet. He belonged to a rich family and his father, Timothy Shelley, was a Whig member of parliament. Shelley was known for his radical views and independence of his thought. He received his education at Eton College and Oxford University. He became popular posthumously. Posthumously means after his death. Shelley was interested in science and philosophy, which gets reflected in his poems also, as in Ode to West Wind. He published a pamphlet, Necessity of Atheism, in 1811, for which he was expelled from the university. And that was quite controversial at that time, in which he advocated that there is no God. And then let's talk about his married life. Shelley got married to one of his sister's friend, Harriet Westbrook, when he was just 19 years old and when Harriet was just 16 years old. So he was also infatuated with the school teacher Elizabeth Hatcher, who inspired him and became his muse in the poem Queen Mab. Shelley met Robert Southey, who was also radical like him, and who introduced him to William Godwin, the author of Inquiry Concerning Political Justice, who was also known for his radical views, and he also wrote against political institutions and monarchy. His marriage with Harriet proved a failure and he fell in love with Mary Shelley, the author of the novel Frankenstein, daughter of William Godwin. He eloped with Mary Shelley and went to Switzerland where he called Harriet also. Harriet committed suicide after 1 year and Shelley faced a lot of criticism. In 1818, he got settled in Italy for the rest of his life. Now the next topic is his death. Shelley died in 1822 by getting drowned in a storm in Gulf of La Spezia. And when he died, Keats' poems were recovered from his pocket, so which shows that he was interested in reading Keats' poems. And he also wrote an elegy on the death of Keats, which was Adonais, which was a pastoral elegy. Now, the next topic is Shelley as a romantic poet. Shelley was a great lyrical poet. So, what do you understand by the term lyrical? Lyrical is the expression of emotions and feelings. So, all of his poems are rich in expression of emotions and feelings. So, his poems are known for the subjectivity, sensitivity, spontaneity, passion, melody, and intense emotions. So, all of these characteristics you find in all of the romantic poets. So Swinburne called Shelley to be the perfect singing god because of his beautiful lyrics. His poems directly appealed to human heart. He was a visionary and revolutionary figure who wanted to bring about social justice. He wanted to reform the world. He wanted to bring about a change, and he was always hopeful about that. So he wanted to bring about social justice to all who were exploited and suppressed. So he was so rebellious in his works that sometimes publisher refused to publish his works because of the controversy that he was creating at that time by talking about controversial issues, by writing against God and others in such topics. He advocated for liberty and equality. He also borrowed themes from Greek mythology. For example, Prometheus Unbound by him. He was a non-conformist and challenged political, social, and economic institutions as well as family, church, marriage, and Christianity. He wanted liberty and justice and was against tyranny and oppression. Shelley was known as an idealist and he infused both imagination and emotions in his poems. So Shelley was also in fact influenced by Plato and followed his idea that spirit of beauty is the supreme power in the universe, as in him to intellectual beauty. He also followed Plato's views on love, beauty, wisdom, and liberty. So Shelley belongs to the second generation of romantic poets, okay, including Byron and Keats. So all of these three poets died at a very young age. So they all witnessed the disillusionment of post-revolution time and also the rise of Napoleon. Byron and Shelley both were involved in social and political issues of their time, but Keats always tried to, find a kind of escape into the world of imagination. Byron's heroes are socially outcast and evolutionary figures, as in Don Juan. In Keats' poems, also, you see a kind of conflict between the real world of hardships and sufferings and imaginative world of love and harmony. Like rest of the romantic poets, Shelley was also interested in nature. Nature inspired and motivated him, and he found solace and comfort in the company of nature. Shelley viewed nature both as a benefactor and destroyer that you see not to west wind. He reflects upon the beauty of all natural objects like flowers, clouds, mountains, birds, also upon the storms, lightning, fury of the waves. So he talks about both aspects of nature. Shelley was a pantheist, the belief that the nature is divine. Nature inspires and motivates him to write good poetry. And he also has sublime experiences with nature, as in Alastor. In his poems, we find all kinds of moods like joy. Sometimes you see him in joy, happiness, melancholy, sometimes despair and disappointed, sometimes with hope. Or to west wind also help, ants with the hope that if winter comes, can spring be far behind? What does it mean? That, bad time will always be followed by good time. So this is the list of all the important works written by him. First is Just Rosie, written in 1810, which is a Gothic novel. Second is Saint Irwin, Gothic novel. Devil's Work, this is a ballad published in 1812. It's a satirical poem on British government modeled upon the devil's thoughts by Coleridge and Southey. Queen Mab, this is also a philosophic poem published in 1813 in 9 cantos and 70 notes, which is a fairy tale about a utopian future without oppression and tyranny. So Queen Mab takes Ianthe's soul and visits the universe. So this is the basic theme in the novel. This is the basic theme in this poem. The Mask of Anarchy is also his important work, published in 1832, published posthumously. So this work got published after his death. So it's a poem on Peterloo massacre in 1819, which was against the authority of kings and God and unjust laws, and advocated non-violence. So this work also inspired Henry David Thoreau's civil disobedience and Mahatma Gandhi's Satyagraha. Next is Alastor, the Spirit of Solitude. This poem is autobiographical and written in blank verse and the title was suggested by Thomas Love Peacock. Alastor is a spirit which inspires the poet. Mont Blanc, so the lines written in the Vale of Chamonix, an ode. The Revolt of Islam, 1818, a poem in 12 cantos, originally published with the title Leon and Cynthia, or The Revolutions of Golden City. Okay, it is about the revolt of Leon and Cynthia against the tyrant of Argolis. So it does not criticize Islam in this particular poem. Julian and Medolo, it's a conversation. It's also a poem in heroic couplets where Julian is Shelley and Byron is Medolo. Next work is Prometheus Unbound. This is a lyrical drama in 4 acts published in 1820. A drama about the suffering of Prometheus, who is a Greek mythological figure and who goes against the will of God, Jews, and brought fire for mankind for the benefit of mankind. So he is considered to be a heroic figure. The way he went against the authority of God, okay, and was idealized by the Romantics. So he is subjected to punishment by God. Jews inspired by the Promethea by Aeschylus. It is a closet drama. So closet drama is just for reading, for the purpose of reading, not for stage performance. Next poem is To a Skylark, which got published in 1820. Then The Witch of Atlas, published in 1824, is a poem in Ottawa Rima and dedicated to Mary Shelley. Next is Adonis, 1821, is an elegy on the death of John Keats, author of Endymion, Hyperion, etc. This is a pastoral elegy in Spenserian stanzas. Next is The Defense of Poetry, an essay written in response to Thomas Love Peacock's Four Ages of Poetry, contains his famous line that poets are unacknowledged legislators of the world. And he was of the view that poets should have a kind of message for the public, and all poems should, have a kind of lesson to teach to the public. Okay. Next work is Epiciteirion. It's a poem where title means little soul. Hellas, lyrical drama. Triumph of Life, 1824. Hymn to Intellectual Beauty, 1817. It's a poem. Ozymandias, 1818, a poem. The Cenci, tragedy in 5 acts. It's a verse drama. That's it.